I think from a casting perspective, no doubt that everyone who was cast into a specific role lived up to that role quite well. The first 40 minutes of the movie, I was really worried whether this is going to be the first Nolan movie that I have watched that I'm not gonna like. But I'm glad that it kind of really turns it around. For me, usually it's like towards the end of the movies where you start feeling it. In this movie, it was kind of the opposite, where I had that feeling at the beginning of the movie as opposed to the end of it. By the end of it, I was like really hooked. I love the horror aspects that are there. Like for a Nolan movie, that seemed like I have personally not seen too much of that. So it was kind of insane to see. I genuinely think that if you are to watch this movie, then it is absolutely necessary for you to kind of have some amount of knowledge about Homer's poem, right? It is a
Yeah.
poem, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the parts which I would agree with was that it took a while to get into the movie. I think the initial bits were quite taxing, I guess, to the viewers, if you want to put it that way. I mean, it was nice to have a lot of the big names that were there in the movie, but I don't particularly think that that was anything that was required, or that that star power that they bought added anything particular to the characters. I thought you could have used any other good actor, regardless of the name, and the role would have been still quite justified in them being there. I think it was nice. Like Naeem said, there's a lot more to Odysseus than what we've seen in the movie, and so you kind of feel like that complexity of the character wasn't there. There is so much complexity to this story and this entire journey, which it doesn't really necessarily capture. And
So this, in no doubt, is probably his most epic movie in terms of the scale in which he's done it. I think, hands down, we've seen all of his movies. I think this deserved to be watched in an IMAX, and I'm glad I did. And my God, like the scale at which he was, this movie is shot at, and the locations and the cinematography and everything, unbelievable. Like the score, and especially the sacking of Troy, the music that was used, the instruments, it made me feel like you were in sort of like the Mesopotamia times, or like the olden times. I honestly, I loved all of it. The only issue that I had was the dialogue, and I felt the dialogue was a bit too crude in a lot of places.